Putin tried to demoralize the Ukrainian people. Instead, Putin demoralized the Russian military. So together with our allies and partners, we are determined to help Ukraine consolidate and extend its battlefield gains, and to build a future force that can ward off Russian aggression in the years ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. King once said that the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. We're living in just such a time, and we must all decide on where we stand. So we are determined to help Ukraine fight to defend its territory and its citizens. We are determined to deter Russia from any further aggression, including against our NATO allies. And we are determined to show the world that America will not flinch in our defense of freedom. If we do not stand up to the Kremlin's aggression today, if we do not deter other would-be aggressors, we will only invite more aggression, more bloodshed, and more chaos. America will be more secure if we stand up to Putin's increasingly aggressive Russia. America will be more secure if we stand up for our bedrock values, and America will be more secure if we make it clear to would-be aggressors worldwide that they do not get to decide which countries live or which countries die. Now, despite his crimes and despite his isolation, Putin still believes that he can outlast Ukraine and that he can outlast America. But he is wrong. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, America's commitments must be honored. America's security must be defended, and America's word must be kept. Mr. President, we last saw each other a few weeks ago on my most recent trip to Kyiv.
Seguimos pendientes de las palabras de Lloyd, secretario de Defensa estadounidense, que dice que están comprometidos junto a sus aliados para seguir apoyando a Ucrania. Dice que están viviendo en un momento en el que hay que elegir un bando y que Estados Unidos está determinado a ayudar a Ucrania a defender su territorio. Dice que el objetivo es mostrar a todo el mundo que América defiende la libertad y que no va a escatimar esfuerzos. Eso sí, vamos a ver si escatima o no los 60.000 millones que todavía siguen congelados. El propio Lloyd manda un mensaje a Putin, dice que si no le paran va a haber más agresión, más caos y más sangre. Además, dice Putin, está equivocado, no va a poder con América, que como bien está reafirmando en este discurso, el secretario de Defensa estadounidense va a seguir apoyando a Ucrania hasta el final, diciendo que no va a escatimar esfuerzos. Precisamente ha lanzado mensajes reiterativos al personaje que ya ven en sus pantallas, al propio Volodymyr Zelensky, que empieza su discurso. Escuchamos, seguimos al presidente ucraniano.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Too much for me. No, thank you so much. I'm great honor to be here. General Plain, Mr. President of the National Defense University, thank you for your warm, kind words. Thank you so much. I want to start by saying thanks to Secretary Austin, the huge man, big friend of Ukraine. Thank you very much for your personal, no, really, thank you for your personal leadership during this time, for supporting us, supporting Ukraine, and defending all free world. Chairman Brown, Thank you for your vision and support, and special thanks to Secretary Del Toro and Secretary Wormuth for all your invaluable support to the Ukrainian Navy and Army. Thank you very much. And it's a real honor for me to be here, and speak here at this university, and known for its years of dedication to fine-tuning the defense of freedom. The world not just knows the names of those who've studied and taught here, it really feels the impact of the choices they've made or the guidance they have given as mentors. And if you look at it that way, Ukraine definitely deserves to be here, represented by our brave warriors, our people, and I believe as equals. Ukraine has left its mark on the world. That's something you can feel, as probably felt most strongly now in Moscow. And it's going to keep being felt there even more so until we tackle this enemy of freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, in many speeches and lectures given in places like this university or similar ones, people often talk about after the collapse of the Berlin Wall. As soon as you hear that, you get what they are talking about, the time period.
Estamos escuchando a Zelensky, viéndole como buenamente podemos, porque al cámara hoy parece que le tiembla un poquito el pulso. Zelensky con su habitual sudadera, su habitual indumentaria, diciendo una vez más, bueno, primero que agradece al secretario de Defensa estadounidense, Lloyd Austin, las cándidas palabras que le ha referido, en este caso, al líder ucraniano. Dice que siguen en defensa de la libertad y que el mundo no sabe el nombre de aquellos que enseñan, de aquellos que están aprendiendo, y dice que Ucrania está dejando su marca en el mundo, que sigue resistiendo y que Moscú tiene claro que de momento no van a dar su brazo a torcer. Seguimos escuchando a Zelensky visiblemente emocionado en este discurso.
Under the thumb for so long and could only dream of freedom, start walking that path. But the ones who used to suppress freedom, they didn't give up their dreams either. Since 1989, freedom's enemies got stronger, trying to turn their annoyance at freedom's success into a comeback. They channeled funds into terrorism, stirred up trouble, spread hate, stoked the fires of local conflicts, trying to turn them into full-blown wars, or at least freeze them like incurable tumors, stifling the freedom of nations. They brought back the nuclear scare. Every decade piled on more problems, and not 1 year in the last 30+ years was safe for freedom. 2022 turned out to be the year when one of the biggest enemies of freedom, with its all-out, unjust and unprovoked war, tried to smash everything beloved since the Berlin Wall fell. Russia's war on Ukraine isn't just about some old-fashioned dictatorship trying to settle scores, real or imagined. It's not just Moscow trying to split Europe again. It's Putin attacking that big shift that happened back in 1989. He's fighting Ukraine, but really, he's up against all of free, united Europe. He's wrecking everyday life in Ukrainian cities, but his real target is the freedom people enjoy from Warsaw to Chicago to Yokohama. He's trying to make democratic countries lose hope, pushing the idea that dictatorships with a bit of market economy are winning this global face-off. This isn't just about competing systems, Russia still got the means to mess with democracies worldwide. Putin's got buddies in this, each one a threat to any free nation, to regional or global order, to human rights and democracy, be it Hamas, Iran, North Korea, or others. No accidents here. They are all linked by their hate for freedom. Putin's crafting his own ideology, and at its core is complete disregard for human life, for freedom, and for respecting any kind of borders between countries, between people, even between truth and lies. He's spreading this.
Seguimos escuchando a Volodymyr Zelensky, el presidente ucraniano, que dice que los enemigos de la libertad se han hecho más fuertes en los últimos años, poniendo algunos ejemplos como que han roto el acuerdo nuclear en los últimos meses. Dice que también 2022 fue el año de uno de los grandes enemigos de la libertad, el momento en el que Rusia empezó la guerra. Dice que la guerra tiene como principal objetivo dividir de nuevo a la Unión Europea. Dice que la guerra de Putin no es solo contra Ucrania, sino que es contra toda la libertad, que está intentando que los países democráticos pierdan la esperanza, y dice pues que Rusia está con Hamas, con Irán, con Corea del Norte. Dice que Rusia está en todos los incidentes, en todos los conflictos geopolíticos que tienen lugar en estos momentos. Seguimos escuchando a Zelensky hablando directamente, aludiendo directamente al presidente ruso Vladimir Putin.
Is just a stepping stone for Russia, a way to act like that old empire that died in 1989 and to challenge the leader of freedom wherever the Russia Tsar likes. Putin must lose so that everyone else who sees Russia's war on Ukraine as his personal lecture at the so-called University of Aggression gets the message loud and clear: Putin must lose. And now, and now I want to share 3 points about Ukraine's impact. The impact I started talking about at the very beginning of my speech. First point: no matter what some tsars might want, anywhere in the free world, you won't hear phrases like "after the collapse of Europe" or "after freedom in Europe has fallen," because you'll never hear "after the fall of Ukraine." And we are going to stop Russia right at the start of its global war against freedom, right where the first front line is, on our land, in our skies, at our sea. Ukraine is the first front, but we've got to make sure, and we can make sure, it doesn't come to having a second or third front against freedom somewhere in the Baltic countries or another part of the world, when there's a chance to defend one country's freedom to avoid fighting in other lands. That's what should be done. The current generation of free nations should learn from past battles in Europe that destruction spread by dictatorship is too greedy, and it needs to be stopped right at the start. And I wanted to remind everyone that exactly on this day, December 11th, 82 years ago, the United States, with soldiers, officers, generals, America's sons, daughters, just like those present here now, had to join the continental war in Europe. And now it's without American boots on European ground defending freedom against Russia's aggression. American Bradleys, HIMARS, 155 caliber artillery, ATACMS, Patriots, F-16s can get the job done in Europe. Exactly how global freedom needs it. The whole world is watching us, observing what destiny other free nation could face to live freely or to be subjugated. Ukrainians haven't given up and won't give up. We know what to do, and you can count on Ukraine, and we hope just as much to be able to count on you. So my second point is this. There are two key things, confidence and security. They are crucial for internal stability in countries and for international peace. There's no human community where evil hasn't tried to take over at some point. Crime and terrorism are threats to any society. Aggressiveness and disrespect for freedom are unfortunately found in many parts of the world, and often hatred rules the streets and hearts. And there's no defense against this, except for these two things: the confidence of those who believe in freedom and the security guaranteed by the defenders of freedom when they come together, cooperate, and uphold rules that are mandatory for everyone. Together, we must uphold the rule of law, our institutions and alliances that protect democracy and ensure security, including NATO, so that nowhere in the world, not even in the darkest corner of the planet, is there a temptation to think some other order can dominate the world other than freedom. America and all free nations need to be confident in themselves, in their strengths, in their leadership, so that dictatorships doubt themselves and their power to undermine freedom. When the free world hesitates, that's when dictatorships celebrate and their most dangerous ambitions ripen. Every one of you here understands what it means for a soldier.
Seguimos escuchando al presidente ucraniano Volodymyr Zelensky, que está hablando del impacto que está teniendo en Ucrania esta guerra. Dice, de hecho, ha repetido en varias ocasiones que Putin debe perder, que Putin tiene que perder. Dice que está amenazando a cualquier sociedad, que está faltando al respeto a todo el mundo y que no hay defensa contra esto, excepto la confianza de los que creen en la libertad y la garantía de los defensores de esta misma libertad. Dice que hay que proteger a la democracia, defender a la OTAN, y que hay tentación de que hay otras personas, de que otros pueden dominar el mundo, pero que tanto América como las naciones libres deben confiar en sí mismas. Dice que cuando el mundo libre duda, los dictadores celebran. Seguimos escuchando a Zelensky, que sigue mandando duros mensajes a Vladimir Putin.
Let me be frank with you, friends. If there's anyone inspired by unresolved issues on Capitol Hill, it's just Putin and his sick clique. They see the dreams come true when they see the delays or some scandals, and they see freedom to fall when the support of freedom fighters go down. And people like Putin shouldn't even hope to conquer freedom. And we can show our children, grandchildren, what real confidence is, as was shown to us when in Berlin, the great words were spoken: tear down this wall. We need no less confidence now than President Reagan had then. And I believe this is our common goals, that the security established after 1989 is fully restored and preserved, that freedom has then proved that when its boundaries expand in one country, freedom for all people expands. And that next year, in 2024, the aggression of the current enemy of the free world begins to collapse, just like that wall. And we can make it real. So, moving on to the third point, ladies and gentlemen, our actual achievements are something to talk about. And alongside with our partners, we already accomplished more than anyone expected when Russia started this war. Ukraine is in a battle against a nuclear state and one of the biggest armies. But despite everything, we have already regained 50% of territory that Russia captured at the beginning of this war. God bless our warriors. And we are doing this under conditions where, unfortunately, the air superiority still remains with Russia. And we are building our air shield, including systems like American Patriot. Thank you very much. Thanks, United States. Thank you very much. And it's really helped and helps, which protects our cities from missile attacks. Ukrainian economy has grown more than 5% this year. And it's not just a miracle. And it's the result of courage of our warriors, our entire nations, and the crucial support from America, from other global democracies, from our partners. And when cities are safe, freedom.
Seguimos pendientes de las declaraciones del presidente ucraniano de Volodymyr Zelensky, que dice que cuando el apoyo a la libertad falla, hay en este caso tipos como Putin que creen que pueden conquistar la libertad. Dice Zelensky que cree que hay algunas metas comunes entre Ucrania y Estados Unidos, como por ejemplo la libertad de todo el mundo, y que cree que el próximo año van a poder hacer realidad todas estas cuestiones. Dice que hay que comentar los logros nacionales de Ucrania, citando pues, que Ucrania está en la batalla contra uno de los mayores ejércitos del mundo, contra un estado nuclear, en palabras del propio Zelensky, que se ha emocionado cuando ha hablado de cómo han perdido parte de su territorio y ha homenajeado, en este caso, a las víctimas del ejército ucraniano que han fallecido precisamente en esta batalla. Seguimos escuchando a Zelensky, dando mucho que hablar y, desde luego, visiblemente emocionado en este discurso.
Our maritime exports, including food exports, protecting dozens of nations in Africa and Asia from hunger and chaos. Next year, Ukraine will clear more shipping lanes. And by now, it is not a secret that Ukraine's response to Russian barbarism can shake the ground in the heart of Moscow. It's a proof of our true strength. Plus, Ukraine is reforming its state institutions. Even in wartime, we are fixing the system to start negotiation with the EU about joining. We keep our promises. We make more strength. Right now, amid fierce battles, our soldiers are holding positions on the front and preparing for further actions. And we haven't let Russia score any victories this year. Yes. Putin tries to create new problems, but our tactic isn't just about waiting what Russia will do, not just about adapting to the problems Putin creates. It's about effectively solving problems. Solving that the key to victory. Tomorrow, in meetings with President Biden and Congress, I'll talk about what result we can achieve next year based on our achievements this year. By pushing Putin back, we'll strip his aggression of its meaning. Then he will no longer be able to deceive Russia as if he personally and his war have a future. Expanding our capabilities in the sky, especially air defense on the front, will remove Russia's air advantage. That's solving one of our major problems. Almost no one believed we would win at the sea, but now it's a fact, and we have to win in the sky too. Patriots and electronic warfare and drones and jets. Of course, all this will help our forces move on the ground as needed. And it's crucial that politics don't even try to betray the soldiers, because just like weapons are needed for their defense, freedom always requires unity. And I'm confident that freedom can be stronger than any of its enemies. And I believe we can be just as effective in defending freedom now as the free world was in 1989. And I'm as confident today as I was on February 24th, when I told world leaders, Ukraine will fight, Ukraine will stand. And I'm confident that freedom must always prevail when challenged. And I thank you, America, for your support.
Seguimos escuchando a Zelensky, que dice que Ucrania está reformando sus instituciones incluso en medio de la guerra que sigue teniendo lugar. Apunta que sus soldados están manteniendo posiciones en todo el frente y que además siguen preparándose para más ataques, y de hecho dice que Putin sigue intentando crear nuevos problemas, pero que su táctica es esperar a ver lo que va a hacer Rusia, que su cuestión es sobre todo resolver problemas, y que mañana en la reunión con Biden y con la Cámara de Representantes van a hablar de los logros que ya han conseguido, precisamente en base a lo que han conseguido ya este año y a lo que pueden conseguir de cara al próximo año. Dice Zelensky, casi nadie creía que podíamos ganar, pero nuestras fuerzas se han movido sobre el terreno y es necesario que los políticos no traicionen a nuestros soldados. Dice que la libertad puede ser más fuerte que sus adversarios. Pendientes de las palabras de Zelensky, como él mismo ha dicho, mañana se reunirá con el presidente de Estados Unidos, con Joe Biden también, una reunión ante la Cámara de Representantes con el dinero como principal cuestión, esos 60.000 millones de dólares que siguen congelados y que podrían terminar por fracasar totalmente la contraofensiva de Ucrania. Estamos pendientes de estas cuestiones. Antes de terminar el programa, vamos a hablar precisamente de una de las mayores personalidades de las redes sociales. Vamos a hablar de Mario Naufal. Hace apenas unos meses hablamos de una posible investigación por parte del FBI, informaciones que apuntaban varios medios, NBC, CNBC. Pues precisamente en esta cuestión vamos a rectificar después de informaciones que han llegado a Negocios Televisión que hablan pues de que esta posible investigación por parte del FBI en parte viene propiciada por el éxito que está teniendo el propio Mario Naufal. Seguro que conocen de sobra sus espacios. Para que se hagan una idea, en medio del conflicto entre Rusia y Ucrania llegó a tener hasta 17 millones de espectadores, generando cientos de ataques por parte de muchos medios de comunicación, como en este caso la NBC, que se hizo eco de una posible investigación por parte del FBI, según apuntan también algunas fuentes, una investigación propiciada por este mismo medio que incluso amenazó a alguno de los testigos en estas mismas informaciones, y parece ser que con el foco puesto con mentiras deliberadas, en este caso hacia la persona del propio Mario Naufal. Hablan de que algunos motivos pueden ser los vínculos que tiene este propio Naufal con Elon Musk, sobre todo el éxito que está teniendo en las redes sociales en un momento en el que hay bastante controversia entre los medios de comunicación más tradicionales y las redes sociales. Salieron informaciones en torno al propio Mario Naufal, unas informaciones de las que nosotros nos hicimos eco y que rectificamos en estos momentos ahora en Negocios Televisión. Vamos a ir con una breve pausa y enseguida seguimos pendientes de toda la actualidad, de todas las últimas horas, de todas las noticias. No se vayan, porque esta es su casa. Seguimos con la mejor información, la mejor programación, Negocios Televisión.
En Banca nuestros clientes son lo primero. Por eso les ofrecemos soluciones de inversión personalizadas y adaptadas a su perfil de riesgo. Nuestro método: diseñamos una estrategia a largo plazo combinando fondos consolidados y diversificados tras realizar un exhaustivo análisis de los mercados y las tendencias globales. Banca. Cuidamos de su patrimonio como si fuese nuestro.
Creemos que la sociedad actual necesita más arte y más color. Le da a la gente la oportunidad de asimilar diferentes perspectivas. Es realmente un placer pintar este cuadro, porque es una hermosa imagen para comenzar. lo último que pintaremos es el auricular en vez del pendiente.
Using a classic and merging it with modern. This is very provoking.
¿Quieres invertir en bolsa? Déjame enseñarte algo. Él es Guille, compra acciones de empresas de videojuegos. Y él es Javier, invierte en acciones del mundo del motor.
¿Pero cuál es la comisión?
0 comisión.
Abre tu cuenta de cliente totalmente online e invierte en acciones